Welcome back to Robin's Nest. My guest today is Reverend Alexis Carol, Program Director with the Connecticut Council on Problem Gambling. In the first part of the show, we learned a lot about kids and problem gambling, and in this half, we're going to take a quiz that'll help us to recognize the warning signs of a gambling problem. This test actually is directed toward teens in our audience, but adults can certainly take it too. You ready?
Sure.
Okay. Is gambling the most exciting activity in your life?
For some people, that is the case, and when they begin thinking obsessively about it, and that is their #1 activity.
So if gambling is coming before sports, it's coming before their friends, it's coming before anything else, you may have a problem.
Yep.
Okay. #2, do you miss school activities or other events due to gambling?
You can't be in 2 places at one time, and in fact, when you find yourself isolating from your friends, not showing up at school, missing certain important events because you have to be placing a sports bet and watching a game instead, there's something going on.
Worrying about the point spread?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. #3, has anyone expressed concern about your problem gambling or about your gambling?
One of the cornerstones of a problem gambler is their denial, their inability to hear it, even when it's being told to them. So if you have somebody telling you, somebody who cares about you, that they think you may have a problem, I hope that person will listen.
And they say denial, it ain't just a river in Egypt, right? It makes sense. #4, do you lie to your friends or your family about your gambling?
Problem gambling, and addicts in particular, an addict is generally a liar. That, in fact, they go hand in hand.
And they're lying to themselves as well, I'm sure.
That's right.
Now, a kid isn't going to admit to his parent that he's buying scratch tickets or gambling on sports or what have you.
Exactly.
It's an isolating thing.
Right.
#5, do you borrow money to gamble?
Yeah, it's the borrowing the money and then also not paying it back.
Okay.
It's taking, the money that you should be using for something else even, and using it for gambling instead of for things that you need to be
and that
for
could
necessities.
That could be just about anything.
Exactly, yeah.
So, they could be saving their lunch money.
Right.
Lunches are up to $1.75. That's a ticket. Okay, the next one is, have you sold personal belongings to get money to gamble?
Sometimes students will find themselves not only stealing their own personal belongings, but stealing others and selling those as well. So parents need to be aware of what might be missing in the house.
It's so strange to be talking about this because I think of a drug addict stealing to support their crack habit, or and the depths that people go to support their habits. And gambling, as you said, is just as serious as an addiction to a drug or alcohol. #7, have you stolen from your family, friends, or an employer to pay back gambling debts?
Embezzlement is a very, very serious matter in the business world now because of people who have access to large amounts of money and use them for the gambling. So that is definitely one of the biggest concerns that employers should have.
Sure.
And certainly families that have their money in the house that in some way can get access to it. Credit cards.
Okay. Okay. And you mentioned credit cards. When I went to college, I was given 4 credit cards without a job. So kids do have access to credit cards. They get them. They do get them. And again, the ages we're talking about are anywhere between 10 and 19 as a child, and then the numbers just go up at that point. And we're talking about college-age kids from 20 to 25 even. #8 is, after losing, do you try to win your money back by gambling more? Chasing
losses is a very common thing. People don't understand that gambling really is a risk. It's a game of chance, and the odds are stacked against you, whether you know it or not. The lottery, one chance out of 8 million.
Yeah, how often is that going to happen?
A sweepstake, one out of 125 million.
Let's talk about the sweepstakes for a moment. You mentioned that to me earlier, and I'm very intrigued by it. Sweepstakes like the ones we get in the mail, Ed McMahon and his friends.
Yeah.
Those are gambling?
Right. Technically speaking, it is gambling because you are risking some kind of money that you're spending, even if it's just postage or the magazines that you buy, hoping to win something. And you would be amazed at how some people get to the point of being obsessed, where there's large amounts of postage, a large amount of purchases. It becomes their primary activity, and they actually think that, you know, they're going to win.
They're going to win.
And the way the sweepstakes ads go, it's a real allure because they almost make you feel that you have already won at times. So
yes, they do.
It's right there for them, and they believe, you know, this is going to bail me out financially. You know, I'm going to be on easy street once I win the sweepstakes. Absolutely, it is a big problem, and the problems are huge. And people going into bankruptcy, divorces taking place again, crime, suicide, homicide. I mean, these are big problems.
Oh yeah.
People, college students can gamble away their
student loans,
their scholarships.
Sure.
Have to drop out of school. We already have anecdotes of that taking place now, where children are dropping out of school because of this. Children who have racked up such large amounts of debt that they don't know how to get out of it and have committed suicide. These things are happening today.
It's terrible. Let's go back to our quiz. Number 9 was, are you preoccupied with thoughts of gambling?
What we're discovering is that, you know, an obsession is an obsession. You know, where can I get more money? When can I place my next bet? How do I pay this person back? You know, you name it. That's what life is about. It is a total obsession.
And everything else is filler.
Yeah. Yes. And of course, remember, that's all again on a continuum.
Okay.
But so you can a person needs to monitor themselves. You know, how often am I thinking? Have I crossed that line into a full-blown addiction, or am I getting close to that?
All right. And in my way of thinking, you're only as sick as your secret. So if you're keeping a secret like this, sharing it is dividing it. So you need to share that with an adult. You need to share that with a family member, someone that you trust, maybe even someone at school, an adult at school that you can trust, that you can talk to about this problem, because it doesn't go away by itself, especially if you're getting to the point where that's all you can think about. It's all you can do. You're starting to really feel the pain of it.
And oftentimes people will think, well, I'm having a financial problem, or I'm having a bad run of luck. No, they're having a problem with gambling.
Okay.
And they are a problem gambler. And again, denial is so strong, and it is difficult. But one can only hope that a person would recognize it, because if they do, then they can get some help before it gets worse.
Okay, and then we had one more. Have you tried to stop gambling and can't?
Yeah, that's right. When you literally can no longer stop it, then you are in the stage of pathological or compulsive gambling, and that is a treatable disease, and it is a disease.
Okay, and treatment is available, like inpatient treatment?
There is inpatient treatment. In the state of Connecticut, we don't have that in where somebody can go and check themselves in. There are other treatment centers in other states that have that.
Okay.
It's something that Connecticut really needs to be thinking about. But there are plenty of out-treatment programs.
Outpatient programs?
Outpatient programs throughout the state of Connecticut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are then suggesting that if you answered yes to any of these questions, or you feel that you know of someone who may have a problem with gambling, that there are a number of things you can do. Number 1, try the helpline.
Start with the helpline, because we are a referral agency. A lot of time is spent trying to find out all of the details of the condition and to make the best referral, whether it is Gamblers Anonymous or Gam-Anon if it's for a loved one who's struggling living with a gambler, or whether it's treatment. And sometimes it needs to be a combination of those things. So we do have the referrals in place, and can give all the information that's necessary.
Okay. And Gamblers Anonymous is a 12-step program,
yes,
and it's based on a spiritual program of recovery, which is very similar to your Alcoholics Anonymous and your other 12-step programs, which are proven to work. Mm-hmm. So who knows better than another gambler, or who knows better than another alcoholic? So I would strongly suggest that anyone who has a gambling problem try these types of programs and call the 800 number, which again is 1-800-34-NO-BET. right?
Right.
Great. What else can we do? I know this affects many, many other parts of the family besides our teens and our college-age students. What else can parents do, or what can they to prevent this from occurring in their own home?
I think, as always, parents need to recognize that they are role models, that they have a right to influence their children properly and bring up these issues and talk about them and warn them of what can happen if they continue in a course of action. So it is a good thing to do, and I love the fact that you're willing to admit that you buy these tickets and it becomes a little game. Own up to that and own up to what that means and say, hey, I know we've been doing this together, but I have to tell you, this can become a problem, and so we're going to stop this. It's just there are other ways to have fun. There are other ways that we can make money, even.
That's right.
So meeting it head on is an extremely important thing to do. And the more it's talked about, the more the information is put out there, the more a child consistently gets the message that that gambling is risky, that too much of anything is not a good thing.
Absolutely,
and
moderation.
Yes,
absolutely.
And there's also the fact that what goes hand in hand with the problem gambling generally are issues related to self-esteem, poor coping skills, ways to escape from their problems. People who are problem gamblers are generally depressed or are suffering from anxiety. They're not sleeping well, they have mood swings. These are some of the signs, and what we're looking for is healthy, functioning children. And so if these things are happening, it's okay to talk about this and say, look, I know you're not happy, and I know that you've been doing this form of gambling or doing things to try to make yourself feel better, but let's think of other ways that we can, make you feel better, ways that are more constructive, healthier, creative.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, there's nothing better than substituting bad behavior with good behavior,
with positive things. Sure.
And that's important to know what that is.
Right.
Foster it in your own life, model it for your children, and encourage that in your child.
Excellent advice. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure.
Alexis, I'd like to invite you back, because we could certainly talk more and more about this issue, and certainly we want the public to know more about it. If you have any other questions, or if you'd like more information, you can always visit our website at www.robinsnest.com, where we're here to help you raise your precious gift, your child. We'll see you.